one of the things about Sonnen that's really captured kind of imagination, definitely from the news that I've been reading and writing over the last year, has been the launch of the Sonnen community platform in November. And now and again, for the benefit of our readers that aren't up to speed on this, Sonnen community allows Sonnen battery owners to trade their surplus energy via the grid, so that basically they can share their energy in a kind of community trading platform. I mean, I think this is just one of the many cool things, if we can be a bit informal about it, it's one of the many cool things that storage can do going forwards, which maybe people don't necessarily know about, that might just see energy storage purely as a backup or purely as a solar load shift. Do you think you can maybe just take us very quickly through the concept behind Sonnen community and what that means? And
yeah, so really for Sonnen its key objective is about giving people the opportunity to have energy independence and have greater control about how they get their energy and how they're able to use it, and to perhaps break away from the traditional model of working of buying your electricity from utilities at increasingly higher costs. The way that the Sonnen community works, as you mentioned, it's being launched in Germany. It actually started up this month, in February, and all of those homeowners, those small commercial organisations who've invested in Sonnen battery systems have the opportunity to go to Sonnen and to sign up with Sonnen as their energy supplier. The way that works is that you've created a sort of virtual power station with the energy that's stored in all of those battery systems basically being made available to the whole of that community. And that's really the power that the system has in terms of the clever software. So the hardware is, the whole battery hardware is proven. It's the software and enabling you to manage how that energy is used. That's the clever bit that makes what Sonnen's doing quite unique and a little bit special.
And so, I mean, I can kind of imagine that, we've seen, I think, something like 5,000 community energy projects coming up in England over just the last couple of years. There's not a precise figure, but in other words, the interest is definitely really strong. And I think we were discussing earlier that there's still kind of obviously things to be hammered out in the UK before something like Sonnen community can work. And part of that, I think we're talking about, is the use of smart meters, which means that obviously it's going to make it possible for Sonnen to actually aggregate and work out how much electricity everyone's using, what their demand is, and so on. So that's a good window into each individual user and the system as a whole. What else do you think might, on that point as well, but what else do you think might be needed to bring something like Sonnen community to the UK, and what are the benefits that could bring?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's important that from a UK perspective, we don't get ahead of ourselves. Here we are with a new company, new opportunities in what promises to be a really good market. But the first thing we've got to do is get systems installed and to get Sonnen out there with homeowners and small businesses. And then we can look at how we can develop the community principle. What's key within that, you mentioned about smart meters. The metering system that's available in Germany currently is smarter. So a lot of the functionality that you have with a Sonnen battery can really be brought to bear. The clever software tools that are within that really means that you can do so much more with a Sonnen battery unit. Now, as we're bringing that model to the UK, we have a system that's future-proofed as and when smart meters are introduced to the UK over the next few years. But with smart meters, that gives that extra ability to use the energy in a more effective, efficient way, to think about time shifting and having electricity used when you want it, when you need it, at a lower price as a result.
Excellent. Martin, I think just one last quick question. I think, after putting you on the spot for some time this morning. So we've just been at the round table this morning that Solar Media, or we, have hosted. And there was a lot of discussion about the sort of messages that we, as an industry, need to take from you guys as manufacturers, you know, all across the value chain, that we kind of, the message that we need to take both to the government and just generally in terms of coordinating efforts to accelerate deployment. Do you think you've got like one takeaway from today's event, or you know, suggestions or your thinking in terms of how we best next facilitate that?
I think at the moment you've got this tremendous enthusiasm within the industry and a very strong will to make sure that things are done in the right way and that there aren't mistakes and we don't have issues relating to things like mis-selling or systems being installed that may potentially have problems further down the line. It's important that with all the knowledge that's there, all of that enthusiasm is harnessed in the right way for the good of the industry. I feel strongly that trade organisations need to have a unified approach to make sure that things are moving in the right direction, and that where appropriate we can put pressure on the government, but also more importantly work with them to come up with solutions that are going to work for the good of the industry.
Brilliant, Martin. Thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure.